Peace and blessings, everyone. It's your favorite true seeker, true teller, and brother, Wise Champion, back with another one. And today I want to discuss something that I've been noticing. And I've been peeping for a long time, and it's very interesting to me. I like watching historic television shows. So, like Vikings and The Last Kingdom, Shogun, um, even Game of Thrones, because they still have those elements in them. Night of the Seven Kingdoms and that whole Game of Thrones universe. And something I've noticed because it's actually really historically accurate as far as how the conflicts start in those on those shows and even in movies. Um, it's like you'll have a ruling class of people and they'll have beef with other people, and they're supposed to be a ruling class of their people, and they will send hundreds of thousands of people to die over a beef that they had with each other. And this is like it's a mirror of basically what you see taking place today. If you really understand and know the history, all those countries over there in the Middle East, the rulers, they're related to each other. And if you understand what's going on here in America, almost every president was related to each other, including Barack Obama. So we are dealing with classes of elites that have a control over the information that we partake in, the propaganda, which is something they learned from Nazi Germany, and they're utilizing that against the people to keep them at war with each other. And they're setting us out there as fodder to fight their wars. We have to break that cycle and break that chain. We have problems on both sides of the aisle when it comes to the ruling class here in America. I have leaned more right wing as of recently over the past few years because I didn't like what was coming over on the left wing. That's not to say the right wing is perfect, because it's most definitely not. It isn't. But what I'm noticing is that they're just infighting with each other. They're putting us out there to fight their battles, to make their case. And then they're limiting the amount of ability that we have to be able to understand what it is that we're fighting for. And instead of us coming together on one common ground and coming forth with a purpose so that we can be free as we're supposed to be in this country, we're busy fighting and bickering over ideologies that are not even our own. The North Korean president, Kim Jong-un, has it so if he is assassinated by a foreign country, that he will nuclear weapons automatically to every country in the world. The people we're dealing with are functional megalomaniac lunatics. And we have to rise above the division that they're sowing amongst us. And that goes each and every one of the human families on planet Earth. All of us. We first need to get our houses right as individuals, our communities together, and then the broader cities and states, and then the country. We have to. That's the revolution. We have to start falling for the banana in the tailpipe because they really have big plans to keep us in place of rulers. They want to keep us fighting each other so they can implement more and more laws to restrict us more and more so that we have less and less freedom. This is their plan. I was scrolling through Instagram the other day and I saw a brother. He was coming up to people, just random strangers, and he was telling them he loved them. And it was so crazy to see how when he would come and he would say this to people, how at first when he was talking to them, they were defensive, off jump. Like they were ready to be on defensive mode or to go on the attack, whatever it may be. He would just say, hey, brother, hey, sister, I want to let you know I love you. And the moment he did that, how that person changed into a completely different person. And many of them you could see was something that they really need to hear. We need to start interacting with our brothers and sisters the same way. When I say brothers and sisters, I mean the human family. Black people too. So as us as the black nation, we need to do that as well. We have to stop this because we're setting ourselves up for destruction. We need to come to each other with love. And like I said in the past video, stop identifying our differences and identifying what we have in our common grounds. What's going on now is leading to our destruction, total destruction. And what they have with the advent of AI and how that's taken over, and how they're moving to digital currencies, and how you're not going to be able to buy and sell anything without their approval. All this stuff is down the pipe. It's coming. And then we're so busy infighting each other, we can't even see the missiles being shot at us. We can't even see what's happening. So we have to take our love that we have for humanity, the love we have for each other, and start putting our foot down. There's 350 million people in America. There's only but so many people in the ruling class. We cannot allow these people to have power over us and control us and do us the way they want to. Because what they're doing is they're using something called the Hegelian dialectic. What the Hegelian dialectic is, they will create a problem. Once that problem is created, then people will come forth and be begging for a solution, and they're going to come with a predetermined solution that's going to be about them gaining more power. What they did with COVID was just a litmus test. That was the first thing. And what they're saying is now that by 2039, that we will be out of water to be able to sustain society because of all the water that data centers are consuming. Now, it may be worth noting, I saw a video of a guy, he was speaking at a town hall meeting, and he said he built data centers, and that he built data centers, he owned data centers, and that data centers do not consume water, which is something that may need to be investigated within itself. But we can all agree that the way we're going, if you're paying attention, is not a good way. I fear for our children. They're not being educated. They're being indoctrinated by social media and by the things they see on their cell phones and their tablets. We have to work so much in order to make ends meet that we really can't sit down and spend time with our children the way that our parents sat down and spent time with us. And this is all being done by design. It's all being done by design. So we need to get back to the foundation, which is family. We need to get back to the foundation, which is loving your neighbor and your brother and your sister. We have to get back to talking to people, because once these resources start to become scarce, which if you're paying attention, I don't know how much of the rest of the country is under a drought, but I know here in Virginia it's under a serious drought. And they're saying that a lot of these farmers are going out of business by the day. So food shortages may be coming. So it behooves us that we get along with our neighbors so that when we're in these times of need, we can start bartering and trading the way we need to. Because they lock that currency down, good. There's nothing you're going to be able to do. You're going to be dependent on each other. So are we going to continue to go through the same cycle we've been going through for hundreds of years of fighting and warring and killing each other? Or are we going to step forward and do something better? Because the way we've been doing it is not it. The way we've been doing it has gotten us to where we are right now, which is a place of subservience and a place where we're being ruled over by people that do not have our best interests at heart. We should all know that. It's crazy how I see people fight each other over political opponents who wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. It's absolutely nuts to see that. We deal with these people like they're celebrities. And we deal with celebrities like, why are we treating these people like they're anything other than what the human beings like we are? Just because they're on TV, or just because they can dribble a basketball or throw a football. They're no different than you and I. They're just on TV. But if you sit back and you look at them in their lives, they have the same insecurities we have, and their lives are just as much a mess as ours are. They just got money. So we need to stop idolizing people. It's all very weird to me when I see in sports and they ask a young athlete coming up, well, who do you idolize? Like, what do you mean, who do I idolize? You're not supposed to idolize human beings. You're not supposed to idolize anything. Because once you start idolizing something, they can control you with that thing that you're idolizing. That goes for anything. It goes for money. It goes for sex. It goes for food. It goes for religion. It goes for all of it. You start idolizing it, then the people that got you idolizing it rule you. They can start making up rules as they go. So we need to start understanding what it is that we're dealing with and what it is we're living in. What steps are being taken to keep us in this low vibrational state, and what we need to do to elevate to our higher selves and stop the general hate that's going on in the country and all going on in the greater world. It has to stop because what we're doing, we're heading on for destruction. You know, if you're a believer in what's it called, evolution, evolution has more to it than what we're being taught with. You know, man came from single cell organisms to cell more celled organisms to amphibians to reptiles to mammals, et cetera, et cetera. To what you see, man. It's more than just that. As we go through the progression in society and become more and more advanced, we are adding on to our mental aptitude as far as being able to utilize something called the Akashic records to become better human beings, to better our plight as men. And we've made several strides, but we've also made several strides. We're starting to make strides backwards. So we have to start understanding and learning ourselves first and foremost, and understanding that the same spark that exists within us exists within all of us. And that's a connection that we have to each other. And like always, if you found any value in this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Again, my name is Wise Champion, your favorite truth seeker and truth teller. With that, I leave you with love, peace, and happiness. Peace.